Today in this short lecture I will talk the matrix representation of the kits, bras and operators. So we all know that the complete wave function in a Hilbert space can be written like this, where psi is the wave function of a system and phi n are the basis kits, and as it is Hilbert space, so n should be run from 1 to infinity. A n are the expansion coefficients. So first of all we will find out the coefficients a n. Now the basis kits, that is the phi n's, are orthonormal to each other. So orthonormal means phi I phi j is equal to delta ij. That means if I and j are equal, then it will be 1, and if I and j are not equal to each other, then the result should be 0. This is the well known condition of orthonormality of the wave functions. So now multiply equation 1 by bra phi m, that is from the left hand side. If you sandwich a bra phi m with kit psi, then it will give you in the sum a n bra phi m kit psi n kit phi n. Now use the orthonormality property, that is delta mn in place of this expectation, delta mn into n. Now delta mn, when m and n are equal, then the sum will survive and otherwise it will be 0. So all the terms in the sum there are infinite number of terms, but except m is equal to n, all the terms will be 0. So that term is written here, that n should be equal to m such that the sum survives. So n is equal to m means a n should be is equal to a m. So the sum is vanished, one term just survived, which is a m into 1. That means a m is equal to your bra phi m kit psi. As m and n are dummy indices, we can replace n in place of m. So if you interchange n and m, then we can write a n, because we want to find out a n. So another different index which has no other physical meaning, so we can replace n in place of m. They are called dummy. So a n will be equal to phi n bra phi n and kit psi. Okay, this result should be remembered. That is, first time we have deduced the basis set expansion coefficient. How the wave function is known to us, that is the kit psi is known, and phi n is your in the bra, that is basis kits or basis bras are also known. So this will be come out of this equation, some value will be there. Equation 2 means some value, that is n is equal to some scalar quantity. Now if you that means we can find a1 to a infinity easily by the use of equation 2. Now our target is to represent the kits, the bras and the operators in quantum mechanics by matrices. So the representation of the kit as a column matrix, because we have discussed earlier that the kits are the column matrices and bras are represented by row matrices, and the operators we need to find out. Later I will come into that. Now what we know is that the kit is represented by a column vector, a column matrix, that means, but the elements of the column matrix are nothing but the expansion coefficients, that is, see here kit psi is written, which is equal to a1 a2 an tends to infinity, and in place of a1 one can write bra phi 1 ket psi. In place of a2 one can write bra phi 2 ket psi, and so on. Okay, so this matrix representation should be remembered, and if one wish to write the bra psi, then the column matrix or column vector will be replaced by a row matrix, but with each of the element as their complex conjugate. That means bra psi, here you can see bra psi is is represented by a row matrix with each element a1 star, a2 star, because of the dual nature of the dual space theory of the Hilbert space we have discussed earlier. It is a complex space. So the scalars that the each of the elements are should be replaced by their complex conjugate. Okay. Now let us take an example of two-level system, how the matrix representations are done. So the basis set contains the infinite terms in the previous case, but sometimes the completeness will contain just two of them. That is called the two-level systems, where the two basis kets are there. So the total wave function is a1 phi 1 plus a2 phi 2. So all other terms are need not to be taken because they are sufficient to describe the system. And if we represent the kets, basis kets as 1 and 0, and the second one as 0 and 1, so the first will be the psi will be the ket psi will be a1 a2. Now we have represented by a1 a2, so it is infinite dimensional ket. If we truncate into 2, then the a1 and a2 will survive. So in place of psi it is written a1 and a2, and here a1 is a scalar, a2 is a scalar, so phi 1 and phi 2 will be such column matrices so that the summation will give you a1 a2 column matrix. Okay, so one choice in our hand is to represent phi 1 by a1 0 and represent by phi 2 by ket phi 2 by 0 0 1. Okay, you may reverse the matrices, that is in place of 1 0 you can write 0 1, there is no harm, and in place of 0 1 you can write 1 0, but this is the common nomenclature one can use, everyone using. So we have written here like this, and these are discretely shown what are the matrices corresponding to the kets, and in case of bras we all know. Now check one thing, what is psi, bra psi, ket psi? The bra psi, ket psi, you remember that in Hilbert space it has a property that if you take the similar kind of wave function, the inner product, that is psi, that is bra psi, ket psi, it will be a finite and also greater than equal to 0, that means positive. Let us check here. Bra psi is in your hand a1 star, a2 star, and ket psi is in your hand a1 a2, so multiply them. This is a matrix 1 cross 2, and this is a matrix 2 cross 1, so result will be 1 cross 1, that is a scalar. So the result will be a1 star into a1, that means mod a1 square, and this plus a2 star into a2, that means mod a2 square. Now these are the positive quantities and should be 1, because this is if the wave function psi is normalized, the eigenket is the eigenket, I am not calling it eigenket, I would like to call it at this point of time as just ket. So if the ket is normalized to unity, then the result will be 1. So mod a1 square and mod a2 square will be the individual probabilities of the basis kets, of the basis sets, of the basis states phi 1 and phi 2. Okay, so the probability of finding the particle in the state phi 1 is mod a1 square, and the probability of finding the particle in the state phi 2 is a2, so a2 square. So sum of them should be 1 if psi is normalized. Okay, so this is the complete description of bras and phis, and this is the one example I have discussed over here about the matrix representation of the bras and Kates. Now the important part is, much more important part is the matrix form of the operator, any operator A. Obviously they are square matrix, and n level systems are considered over here. So we have to remember this law, how the matrix of the operator is formed. Now it is an mathematical description, and this is the here it is written in such a way that you can remember things. Okay, so here in the row, in the columns, the bras are there, and in the rows the Kates are there. So follow this rule. So there are n bras and n Kates. Now n bras are phi 1, phi 2, dot 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 phi n. So n number of terms are there, and in column you have just followed this path. We have followed this path, and now follow this way, in this way. Okay, so there are phi 1 Kate, phi 2 Kate, phi n Kate, but look here, those Kates are not merely just like bras, they are operated, they are operated by an operator A. So it is again a Kate, an operator operating on a Kate will produce a Kate. So it is a Kate, but the Kate is not merely phi 1, phi 2, dot 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 phi n. Those Kates are a phi 1, a phi 2, dot 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 a phi n. Okay, so now let us multiply, not just multiply, the term multiply is very much wrong, just sandwich them to get the expectation value, that is bra from the left side and the Kate at the right hand side. So if you take just follow the matrix multiplication rule. So if you take phi 1 bra, then it will generate n terms. How? Phi 1 bra sandwiched with a phi 1 Kate, phi 1 bra sandwiched with a phi 2 Kate, phi 1 bra sandwiched with a phi n Kate. So it will generate n terms, and it is written over here phi 1 a phi 1, phi 1 a phi 2, phi 1 a phi n. So n terms are there in the row. Similarly, phi 2 bra will generate n terms and phi n terms. So n cross n matrix has been formed of the operator. That is, this is called, this matrix is called the operator matrix representation. This is the matrix representation of the operator. So you can remember directly, but how this matrix elements are generated, for this I have discussed. I have used this technique by taking bras in the column and the Kates in the row, so that the multiplication will follow the matrix, and the matrix is written by a symbol a11, a12, that is 1 1 element, a12 element, dot 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 a1 n element. Similarly, the last term will be a n n element. These are the diagonal terms. This is upper triangular matrix, this is the lower triangular matrix, and any general term in the matrix, any general element in the matrix is a n m, where n stands for the row and m stands for the column number. So bra phi n is there, and a over the ket phi m. So bra phi n A ket phi m is your ANM, that is nmth element of the matrix. So this should be remembered, and the technique, most importantly, the technique should be followed. Okay. So if one need to represent a matrix form of an operator, so he should know the basis skates, that is the basis bras of that space. So one thing he should know the exact forms of the basis skates or bras. Okay, this is the requirement. Now let us take two problems. The first one is, consider two following gates. This is 1 cross 3, that is, it is 3 level system. 3 dimensional problem means 3 level system. So 3 level system, the elements are written over here. Find the bra phi. Ket phi is given, so just complex conjugate each term and written by a row, it will give you a bra. See, it is written here 2i, 2 plus, here it is minus I, so plus I, and 2 plus 3i will be the complex conjugate of the third term. And now just revert the thing, that is column should be written in row. The result will follow. This is bra phi. Now the scalar product of phi and psi. Now bra phi you got, that is 2i and 2 plus 3i, and ket psi is given. Ket psi is given. So just multiply to matrix, it will give you a scalar which is 7 plus 8i. Now the question is, examine why the products psi, ket psi, ket phi and bra phi, bra psi do not make any sense. In the purview of matrix multiplication, one can see that two column matrices cannot be multiplied together, or two row matrices cannot be compatible of matrix multiplication. So this will not make any sense surely, and this is written over here. Now the second problem, find the Pauli matrices for the spin half particles. The argument of the problem is not very familiar with you at this point of time, but to make it simple, just I want to explain here how the matrices of an operator can be found, and the Pauli matrices will be very interesting to see, because in the latter quantum mechanical theories or in your syllabus, the Pauli matrices will come frequently. It will come in quantum mechanics, it will come in atomic physics, it will come in nuclear physics and in solid state physics also. So Pauli matrices are very important and very widely used in your physics problem, quantum mechanical physics problems. So I have chosen the problem here, but don't be worried. I will give you the formula which is not known to you. Just mathematical performance should be done here. Here my target is to focus on this methodology, is to find out the operator. So what is spin, I am not going into the physical detailing, but just follow some mathematics. Okay, if S is quantum, now I should mention here that you have some prior knowledge that spin half particles, the quantum numbers are there, spin quantum number S, which is half, and the magnetic quantum number ms. So ms is here plus of and minus of. Consider the electron. You are familiar with electron. Some spin half particle, there are some other spin half particles also, but I am giving this example with your electron because you are very familiar with electrons spin half particle. So the thing is there now. So spin quantum number is half, it is given, it is known to us. So the magnetic spin quantum number is plus of and minus of. Because of this rule, the magnetic spin quantum number will run from s to s minus 1, s minus 2 dot 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 minus s. That is 2s plus 1 terms are there. But if s is equal to half, then first term will be half, then s minus 1 is minus of, that is minus s. So the two terms will be generated for ms. Two terms means two values of ms will be there, two allowed values of ms will be there. One is plus of, that is up spin, and other is minus of, will be which will be down spin. So the kets will be 2. It is written over here. Okay, what I have talked are written over here. So the possible states, the state of the quantum mechanical system under the spin consideration is written like this: s comma ms. Because of two quantum numbers, you have to specify to determine the state, that is the ket. It is the basis ket, you should recall it, basis ket of the problem. So basis ket is written as s comma ms. So two type of basis kets are there. One is half plus of and the other is half minus of, because s is always plus of. So ms can be plus of or ms can be minus of. So two basis kets are in our problem are half half and half comma minus of. These are just symbolism. The meanings, it doesn't impose any different mathematical scenario. So mathematics are just similar what we have discussed in our theory part. These are just the symbols to show that two states are different to each other. Now the operator s square. S square is the spin angular momentum square operator, operates on the states, that is half plus of minus of. It will give you this result 3 by 4 h car square, and reproduces the kets, which is the eigenvalue problem, eigenvalue equation, where operator is s square operator. S square means the operator, here the general form of the operators are written. You can follow this. S square operating on s comma ms ket, it will give you s into s plus 1 into h car square as the eigenvalue, and the ket will be reproduced, that is sms will be formed again. And if sz operator, that is the z component of the spin angular momentum, the s is what? S square, it is written or not? I am just checking. No, it is not written. Okay, s square, what is s square? S square is equal to sx square plus sy square plus sz square, just like your angular momentum operator, which was L square is equal to Lx square plus Ly square plus Lz square. X, y and z are the three mutually perpendicular directions. Similarly, spins are also manifested like the angular momentums. So s square is the total angular momentum, and s x, s y, s z are the components of the angular momentum. So each angular momentum are the dynamical variables, so they are consisted of some operator form, and the operator, if that operator operates on this ket, this will give you this eigenvalue, which is given over here. Just assume this form. Now I am coming to the to our present case scenario. It is given, just assume, just I am telling you so that you can understand what is written over here, what are the juggleries are doing over here. So sz operating on sms will give you an eigenvalue ms h cut and the eigenvector, which is sms again, where h cut is a reduced Planck constant, that is h by 2 pi. Okay, so following this, because you have s is equal to half, in your problem s is equal to half, and ms is equal to plus half or minus half. So the eigenvalue equations will be written like this. Two kets are there, half, plus half and minus half. So in one line, this is not one equation, this is actually two equation. One first time you can consider the plus sign, then plus sign will be considered in the right hand side also, and the second equation contains the minus sign for ms is equal to minus half. Okay, but the eigenvalues are unchanged, that is invariant, which is put s is equal to half. So half into half plus 1, what will be that? This will be 3 by 4. So 3 by 4 is written and multiplied by h cut square, and this kate is half and plus or minus half. So similarly sz is written like this, plus minus. Here ms is can be either plus half or minus half. So the eigenvalues are not equal to each other, they are different. So equation 4 can be used. Now it is to be noted that the states are orthonormal to each other. That means these two states, these two kates are orthonormal kates. That means bra half half, kate half half is equal to 1. Similarly minus half. But if you take bra half half and in the kate half minus half, it will give you 0, and vice versa, it will give you 0. So it is the orthonormal property which we will know, we have used earlier. Now let us do the problem. First find the operator form of a square. So a square, here two bras are there, that is half half and half minus half. Just I am now using this formula, bra phi 1 to phi n and kate phi 1 to kate phi n operated by a operator. So it will give you the operator form of the a operator. Okay, matrix form of the operator a. So we want to find the matrix form of the operator a square. So following the same procedure of producing the matrix, the bra half half and bra half minus half is written, and similarly kate half half and kate half minus half operated by a square operator is written here. So what will be the result? The result will be the 4 terms in a 2 cross 2 matrix. Now a square half half we know, a square half minus half we know, a square operating on half half we know from these equations. Okay, a square half half is equal to 3 by 4 h cut square half half. So it is written, see here it is written, a square operating on half half, it will give you 3 by 4 h cut square into half of kate, and 3 by 4 h cut square has been come out of the matrix, because each of the term will give you the eigenvalue h 3 by 4 h cut square. So it is common and taken outside the matrix, and each term now use the orthonormal property. The first term is 1 and the last term is also 1, but the second 1 2 element and 2 1 element are 0 because they are orthogonal to each other. So 0 0 1 0. So 1 0 0 1 is the matrix representation of the a square operator, and see the question is Pauli spin matrix. So we are coming to that point. Similarly Sz can be found. Sz, what is that? Sz, to find out the matrix representation of Sz is following the same procedure. Bras are there, kates are there, and follow the rule of the eigenvalue equation of the Sz operator, which is written in the above. So using those relations, and in the last you should use the orthonormality property, so that this one, but these two terms are 0. So it will give you a result which is it will form a matrix which is half h cut 1 0 0 minus 1. So the question is Pauli spin matrices. This is not Pauli spin matrix, except the h car square h car by 2, only the matrix is called Pauli spin matrix. Okay, this is the Pauli spin matrix 1 0 0 minus 1. It is not written by mistake here, just remember this. The common factor, just leave the common factor, and the rest matrix form, only the solid matrix form is the Pauli spin matrix. So we have found the first Pauli spin matrix. We are going to found the another two spin matrices, Sx and Sy. So in the similar procedure, we cannot found the Sx and Sy matrix forms, because Sx and Sy do not satisfy this kind of equation. So half minus half, these gates are not the eigengates, eigenstates of the operator Sx and Sy, sorry. So that is why this technique has been used. And again, I am just reading out these things. These are not discussed earlier. You don't know these things. Just assume that there are two another operators which are not physically acceptable operators, but mathematically very viable, because S plus is the raising operator, which is formed by Sx plus I Sy, operator Sx plus I into operator Sy. Similarly, the raising operator, lowering operator S minus, which is Sx minus I Sy operator. I is the imaginary number. Now these are why they are raising and lowering operator, S plus and S minus. Consider this. We have two gates, half and half minus half. If S plus operates on half, it will give you 0. If S plus operates on half minus half, it will increase the ms quantum number by unity. So ms quantum number is raised by an unity. So minus half is plus 1 is your plus half. So it this operator raises the ms quantum number by the value of unity, and multiplied by h cut. Similarly, S minus is such operator which operates on the negative state, that is minus of. It will give you 0, because there are no states available to lower the system. Similarly, in case of S plus, half is the maximum value of ms. The next value of ms, that is next value of the raising quantum number is 3 by 2. It is not acceptable in this case, because ms should have two values, half and minus half. So minus plus half cannot be raised, so the result is 0. Similarly, S minus operating on this minus of state cannot lower furthermore, so result is 0, but half is there, and S minus is operating on half, can lower the state to the minus half by unity. And S is invariant, the quantum number S always invariant. Okay, and the new gate is should be multiplied by h cat. This is the rule. I am not going into this. These formulas can be remembered. So using this formula, you can just find the matrix forms of S plus and S minus. How? Proceeding in the similar way, that is, S plus matrix form is here written over here, where in bras there are half minus half, and in the gates half minus half, two states, but the operator is now S plus, so S plus is written over here. So sandwich the bras with the gates, it will give you 4 terms, 1 1 1 2 2 1 2 2 elements. Now use S plus over half will give you 0, so first term will be 0, and the second term is S plus operating on half minus half, it will give you h cut half. So see, written, it is written here. This is in place of this is plus half minus half, you have written this kate, and h cut is taken out of the matrix. Similarly, this term is 0, this term will again 0 because of the orthonormality condition. Okay, this term is 1. So the total matrix is 0, though this term survives, but due to the orthonormality this term again is 0. So 0 0 0 1, this is the matrix form of S plus. Similarly, S minus matrix form will be 0s 0 0 1 0. Now S plus, Sx, and we here to find Sx and Sy. So Sx and Sy can be found through this equation. Just sum them, just add two equations. It will give you S plus S minus is equal to twice of Sx. So Sx is equal to half of S plus and S minus, and you know the S plus operator and S minus operator in matrix forms, equation number 8 and equation number 9. Just add them and you get the Sx, and half into Sx plus Sy, S minus, and similarly Sy is equal to half, not half, I by 2, and S minus minus S plus. From those two equations, using these two equations, you can find the Sx and Sy operators in terms of S plus and S minus. Because we know S plus and S minus matrix forms and operators, so it will be easier to use these two equations to find out Sx and Sy. Not easier, it is the only way. So similarly, the Pauli spin matrices corresponding to x coordinate is this, and corresponding to y coordinate is this. So we have three Pauli matrices: Sx, sigma x, it is denoted by sigma. In the latter classes, in the latter topics, you can see this is the Pauli spin matrix correspond to x coordinate. This is the Pauli spin matrix corresponds to the y coordinate, and this is the Pauli spin matrix corresponds to the z coordinate. So three matrices are there, and these three matrices are very much interesting, and some properties are there also, but I am not going into the detail. I just want to stop here, and let me thank you for listening.